Alright, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to the next episode of Danganronpa. And apparently I just clicked continue, like I was on the main menu. I was on the main menu, then I clicked continue, and then it took me to here, and it just started, and Monokuma just started talking, so I paused it quickly. It didn't take much. I exited on the screen where it was like set up for the class trial or whatever. And then when I pushed continue, it brought me to here. I don't know why, but yeah, we're doing the class trial today, so get ready for about, what, hour and a half, 2-hour episode. As always, I guess Celeste, because she's been doing a bunch of sus stuff, and I guess that Hifumi was not dead the first time, and he moved himself and Taka's body into the room where he was killed by somebody, which I would guess would be Celeste, because Celeste seems like the murderer of this case. So let's go ahead and get started.
Basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it!
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found it in that suit.
Yeah, cool.
Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling.
I don't believe it.
It points to you as having created the suit
it's too obvious
and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you?
So far in the cases we've had, we've always blamed like at least 2 or 3 people before we've actually found the right suspect. So, if it's, I feel like there's a rule in this game where if you're the first person that's suspected, you're not the killer. So, that plus the fact that I don't know. I just know it. Like, I literally just know. Is Hiro really the killer, or before anything else, we have to make that clear. Indeed. Make your argument. Alright, here we go. Yup, here we are.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I have a feeling it's
I don't know anything about that stuff!
Need to refute.
It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
The blueprints.
Hiro, why?
Message.
Why did you kill them?
No!
The handwriting.
Just hold on a second!
The handwriting. Yep, the handwriting.
Everything we found, the blueprints.
The suit part.
Yep.
No, it's wrong.
Last class trial, the audio was also.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
Shut up, Celeste. I know you.
No, the differences are bigger than that,
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think I'm trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So, Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he is not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
Yeah.
What?
You know what? Byakuya, he's okay. You know, he can be a prick. He can mess up a crime scene. But he's okay. He's okay.
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
No.
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Well, it was Hiro, but...
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
It was Hiro, but...
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
But that doesn't mean he's the
Then
killer.
there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
It's not an assumption, it's a fact.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
Well, that's easy. The tarp
It
and
would
the
seem that
rolling
his
thing.
corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Why, in fact, yes, I can. The things that were used to move Taka's body, they must have been the repository dolly.
I got it!
Still one more thing. The tarp.
I got it!
Easy dubs,
They were
easy dubs.
a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room.
Yeah.
So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body.
Yeah.
That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there.
It was.
But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection.
No.
How do you respond?
See, Celeste.
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is
Bro,
going on.
if you don't shut up
around
right
you.
now, honestly, like Monokuma, wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. But maybe I can change their mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. A new element. Oh god. What now? What now? Reloading. And on the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. What? Up until now, there hasn't been a limit on how many. From now on, just locking and pressing the triangle button won't be enough. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing square. Basically, just remember that the square button now has a function along with the X and the square and the triangle and the. You'll automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. Hey. Oh, but if your action difficulty is gentle, you want to reload in case. In which case, you should ignore everything. Well then, good luck and have fun. Wait, are we doing the bullet time battle right now? Wait, what? We're at the beginning of the case.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst.
This is so
you
actually
miserable
hard.
wretch. You have it
Oh,
wrong.
shoot. What was it
I
again?
cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Oh, dude, that was so easy. That was so easy.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here.
Did they just confirm that it's Celeste? Because the bullet time battle is always with... Well, no, because Taka was the bullet time battle last time and Mondo was the murderer. But I'm pretty sure that just confirms that it's
When I
Celeste.
found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it.
Like, she's just so, like, adamant that it has to be, Hero.
There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Yeah. Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that
Well,
much?
Anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm
not a robot
sure
at all.
that really matters.
I'd be happy
Oh,
to
you're talking
explain
about-
why the
okay.
occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Okay. If I look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? Yeah, I'm not sure either, actually, this one. Make your argument. Okay. Robo-Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over. Then you could push the dolly no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't think I realize anything.
The dolly doesn't have any handles. So to push it, you have to bend up. You have to be able to bend over. Would anybody being able to be able to scoot down like that? Hold up, let me look at the new books. Let me look at discussion. No one would be able to care for the costume. In addition, anyone wearing the suit would not be able to see their feet or bend at the waist. Okay. So we gotta shoot that at bend over.
As we know,
Taka was, and from there.
Yeah, the culprit loaded it onto the...
Now, keep in mind.
Well, yeah, all you'd have to do is bend...
There we go, there we
No,
go.
that's wrong. You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply
Oh
pushing
my,
the dolly with your
look,
feet?
guys, how are y'all not noticing this?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
on top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that
it just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Oh, but I do remember this one. You can't. There's a clasp on the back, and you have to have another person to help you take it off. There's absolutely no chance the costume was taken off just to move the body because you can't take it off by yourself.
I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something that you can't even take off for your suit? I didn't make the stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. You don't really have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then,
Yup.
you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear,
Yeah.
whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No,
Yeah.
wait. Just a second, if you please.
Oh my
Have you forgotten
gosh.
about the picture that I took?
Celeste, stop.
You all
What
got
are
a
you
good look at
doing?
it, did you not?
You're
The
so
image
annoying
of
right now.
Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that?
I'm so sad I'm not going to be able to show your execution, Celeste. Because
Besides,
I'm
do you
pretty sure
remember
everybody
what
will
the
be happy
now
to see it.
deceased Hifumi said?
Oh my gosh. Oh, did you get hurt?
That guy hit me.
What guy?
Robo-Justice. That's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero,
Oh,
without
my
a doubt.
Celeste, if you don't shut up, like honestly.
Yeah,
Owie.
that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it before we rush to a verdict. Shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of
please.
seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the
Hey,
beginning.
that's a show.
Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone.
I'm going to leave this in, but this is exactly what I already did last episode during the investigation. So if you want to skip this part, it's totally fine, because this is literally just going to be the same thing that happened. If you already watched the investigation episode, then this is just pointless, because we already went through all this crap before. So
That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office,
What's wrong? I saw a shadow, something moving around the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
and then...
Huh? What was that? This came from the downstairs. It must have been... Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi,
Alive.
dead.
Yeah.
And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement.
Yeah, Makoto.
I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Have y'all guys not noticed the pattern with Celeste? Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
These are the most oblivious characters ever.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. Yeah.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
I feel like we have to absorb something. The Justice Hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order? Maybe not. I don't know. What do I absorb here?
Regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came...
See? So
I really don't know what
Taka
to
came...
do here.
I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammer.
It's true that Hifumi was killed while Taka's death...
See?
So it's obvious Taka
Oh my gosh, this is literally the most annoying thing ever.
I wonder if, or perhaps it was... We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the...
There we go,
No,
dang!
that's wrong.
I'm like, bro.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
Probably.
Okay then, let's see the proof.
Well, assuming that Hifumi was alive when we found his body, evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time. Oh yeah, his watch. His watch. Is it gonna be like watch, or is it gonna be like what? What's it gonna be? Oh, that's wristwatch. Wristwatch. S, can you go away, I? Can you go away, I? Can you go away, I? Dang it. Wrist watch. A, come on, A, come on, A. Come on, A. Come on, A. There it is. C, and then we need an H. There it is.
Now I understand. I got it. Taka's wristwatch.
Yeah.
See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
How you do? How long were you gonna give his money? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that's bedtime for the boys and girls.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right.
Yep.
Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Yup.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Because if Hifumi really did die, if the body discovery was really talking about Hifumi dying for the first time when we saw him with Taka in that room, that means that that was after we had all split up. So that means none of us have an alibi for either of the deaths.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
No. It's a list. I'm not reading this again. You've already read this.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
Nope,
That's totally
still
true.
alive.
We're all in the clear.
No.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If
Hiro.
that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies.
Well, I
On the
can't
other
believe I
hand,
actually called this.
Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
Like, I already know I'm right, because it's just pointing to it.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
We could not have been gone for more than a minute or two. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Well, I think I know what you're gonna say.
What? How?
If the dead body
I
were to
caught
move
it!
itself.
I caught it, dude. Ugh.
The dead body moved on its own?
I told you, because the body discovery announcement only played for Taka.
No! Not another... ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Yup.
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I
Yes.
mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
It is possible, because... You know what? I can't even talk to you, Celeste. The idea that Hifumi was still alive. It is really possible. I know it says it isn't, but it is, so...
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body to Hifumi's
Dead body had been found.
Oh!
No, that's wrong.
Easy. Celeste. More like, so dead.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered
Actually,
his body.
it played right after they found Taka, and it played a bit after we found Hifumi,
Maybe.
so...
But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found,
Sorry for coughing
there
so
really
much.
should have been two announcements.
I'm not really coughing, I'm just clearing my throat.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man.
It
We're
did-
asking
it
if you're
didn't
a
answer
lazy
that question.
bum.
But, he said if you find it for the first time, so it wouldn't have played when we found both of them again, because if they had already both been dead, then there was no point for another
No,
announcement.
actually, that was plenty.
Are we on the same way, Louis?
He said it's only broadcast
Yep.
when a body is discovered for the first time.
Me and
Even if
Byakuya.
we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again.
Ugh, me and Byakuya, man.
If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh?
later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Second body discovery announcement. The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office in the equipment room. And the second time was when the body was rediscovered.
We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the two bodies. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us.
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
Hifumi.
So when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet, meaning he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events
the
surrounding
cleaning
the
cloth,
discovery
the cleaning
of his
cloth with the
body.
glasses.
Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Yep, I know what it is. I know. Dude, this is like the easiest class trial.
Well, here's one thing we do.
Not only did I already know who it was,
The
they're
first
just
time
giving
we
me the
found
answers.
Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
Oops.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, that's wrong!
Get out of here, Celeste.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
Evidence I found in the trash can was the clean cloth. There it is.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
Yup. Bowie.
So what you're saying is... what exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Which means he...
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
Celeste.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
The one who moved Taka's body was Hifumi.
I got it!
Taka himself, he was alive too.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well,
Yeah.
after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository
How
door
did y'all
can
not see
only
the
be
killer
locked
come
from the
outside of
inside,
it?
which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his
Oh,
involvement
yeah,
has yet
the
to
note,
be
the
revealed.
note, the
You know
note.
what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Yup, the note. The thing that Hifumi stole from Taka, could it be? Yes, it could be. I don't know. Which one? No, wait, that was the one you had. Okay.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note said.
I found a hole. Maybe we can use it to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m. And also, sorry about not talking much. I'm just focusing. I'm just concentrating to see if I can figure things out. But I'm pretty sure it's Celeste, though. I don't know why she's, like, butting in so much, and she's just, like, the main part of this whole thing. So I'm still pretty sure it was Celeste. And there was a part where I, like, didn't push X for a second. That was because I was stopping and starting the video again, because it only records up to an hour, so I had to make, and I know this is going to be longer than an hour, so I had to stop it.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
No,
In
they're
other
different
words,
ones, but it's the
the
same
killer
thing.
got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants!
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Just to be clear,
TikTok!
TikTok
No!
is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still, I can't let her get to me. Alright. Game is so much fun, actually. Let's watch. Hifumi's glasses. Honestly,
Huffy
like
had
none
the
of
note,
these.
right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Oh wait, the broken wish box.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was must have been Huffy!
But remember, what time did it...
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok! Hockey had the note, then the person it was must have been Hockey!
But remember, what time did it...
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter, no, it's
Nothing to do with TikTok.
Thank you.
No,
oh my
it's
god.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the
The
hell are
time
you talking about?
The time I asked him to meet at is where the wristwatch was stuck
The
on.
note
so.
said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me.
Yup.
The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Trying to get rid of evidence?
No less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Proof that Ifumi stole the note. Yeah, because he had a piece of it in his hand. That's where we use this.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm
And
right about
the other one
this,
was missing one corner.
I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup. They're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly.
Tried to
Which
hide
proves
evidence.
that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry.
No.
No. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository, so he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait,
exactly what I said
but me
earlier.
and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
We did find that hammer that, we went over to the thing and Makoto was like, one of these seems to be, like, recently cleaned.
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
then...
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Fumi. The whole picture surrounding the case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth. I know. It's the one that Makoto commented on. Yep, the spotless hammer.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
I don't think
Was
that's a
it Justice
contradiction.
Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Dang it.
Shoot!
Alright, let me see if I can...
What was used to kill Hifumi?
No, I didn't think that was it, but I had to try.
Shoot!
What was used? Was it just maybe Justice?
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody...
Sounds like a Justice Hammer. Check out Murder Gear Doc.
Well, the murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers. And,
There we go.
No, that's wrong!
I didn't want to get it wrong again, because I was going to die. Jeez.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
but, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris.
Yeah, that's
For
what it was.
some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off.
Yeah.
I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
Doesn't mean that they
So
can't
the
do it.
idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
I guess that would mean that Celeste and Hifumi work together. Weird, but I guess it would make sense. We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for it, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. Just because it's stupid doesn't mean it's impossible. Spotless hammer. Okay, so we're gonna have to absorb
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us,
I'm just gonna shoot that
even
away.
if more than one, only
Okay.
the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is.
But that only really
In this case, however, there were two murders.
I'm just gonna try shooting two murderers.
Based on the rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true. It is simply
That's not what I-
impossible that
I
two
was trying to
people
shoot
work
it.
together.
That is.
But that only really, in this
Case, however, there were two murders.
God, this is so stupid.
based on the
Forever.
rules, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
There we go.
No, that's wrong!
Freaking hey.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
Remember when I said this was gonna be super easy?
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder,
Or this
then
was the
yes,
easiest one.
the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
So what?
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I don't know why Hifumi would work with Celeste, but I can understand that Celeste, the reward for her working with somebody is that she could get them to kill somebody, and then, so all the evidence would point towards them, then she kills that person, so then the evidence just kind of like, well, it points to that person, but they're dead, so now what? Kind of thing. But I don't know why what Hifumi would get out of it, except maybe like, she would vouch for him in the last trial, like she maybe said like, alright, you kill somebody, I'll help you get away with it. And then she was lying because obviously there would be no reward for her if that was it. So since he's dumb, he didn't think about that, and he was like, okay, sure. Then he kills somebody. Then she's like, well, if he gets away with it, then I die. So then she kills him. That's the only thing I
think that's
of.
What the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to
pretty
look.
much, right?
A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
Isn't that right, Celeste?
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Yeah. The effort made to convince us the two murderers were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said to not look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is
I
at this.
understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't reading. Oops. The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out the accident and murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the class has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this.
Here's my answer.
Get it out.
It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
Yes.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
Oh, you think this is a joke?
I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
I don't know why,
The
but yes.
idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that
Shit from brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
Calm down.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Yes, there is. There is.
So,
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you.
Yeah.
Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Well, I mean, what is it only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Encountering it. Yeah, they were the only one who ever saw him, so...
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit. does it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Oh,
Sorry.
don't say sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes
I
on
was
the
just
costumed
helping. Dang,
individual.
bro, you didn't have to be like that.
If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi
yeah.
to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct?
Yeah,
And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I don't. Oh yeah, I saw they shared the remote. Yeah, I already read this stuff.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to
What
have
have I
seen.
been saying this whole time? Listen, okay? Listen
Next,
to me.
to draw us
Dang.
all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
I saw him again. She ran back there. Yep.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Yep.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In
Yep.
fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
I literally been saying this the whole class trial, guys. If y'all would just listen to me, we would have been
if Celeste
done.
and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? Why else would you let out a scream that could...
It was your way of telling him we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan.
could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
Yup.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
Her trying to get...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each
Bro.
piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it.
Yeah.
You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I actually don't know what that
I
is.
didn't
but
even catch it myself when you first said it.
I don't know what you do. What
Looking
you do?
back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must be really enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about
but she
Taka
said those
being dead.
guys.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense.
She
It
said
was
those guys
completely out
before
of
she
place.
even knew that the two were dead.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you, if you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. But what is he leading to? I know what it is. I know what it is. We need to get 2 dead bodies or something. Or something, I don't know. That's a copy something, I think.
All I said was,
They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like, and that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Do I need that?
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die.
Just...
Yes!
No, that's wrong. That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Yep. The class trials are actually the most fun part of this game, even though the rest of it's fun too.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall.
It just feels so good when you get something
There
right.
was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
you all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
Well, when I first saw it, I said they're probably working together or something. I mean, that could just be like before they put that could have just been before they put what's his face into it, Hero. They could have just been they could have taken that last night. And they could have just had it leaning on to him, and since they can't bend at the waist, it would have stood straight up onto him, and they could have just been posing for it to make it look like that it was attacking Hifumi, but it was really just something with nothing in it, just lying on him.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you is a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Look, other explanations? Yeah, I know. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is the Hifumi has been drinking. Hifumi is dragging the suspect away.
I got it!
Hifumi was dragging...
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away.
Okay, so it was what? It was Hifumi dragging it while Hiro was in it? Alright, well, it's about to pause and then come right back. Alright, and we're back.
I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility.
Yep.
The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around.
Oh, I said it like that.
And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible.
No, it's not.
Was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it?
God,
I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Don't you talk to thickums like that. Celeste thinks she can prove that there was no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? No, it's not. And I'm about to shoot you in the face with a bullet. Well, not you in the face, but I'm gonna shoot your words with a bullet.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly
wait.
upright.
No, don't shoot it, don't shoot it.
If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight
Actually,
like
it
that.
does, because you can't bend.
No, that's wrong.
Idiot.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that, because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
It doesn't bend.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
Yeah, it doesn't bend. Hey!
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then,
Yeah, you get
I
mad now, aren't you?
suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Yeah. Shut up.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Calm down.
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Hey, Hifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you?
Oh, killed me? That's right. I remember their name. Yasuhiro.
Well, obviously he was
When we
lying.
asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not?
Yeah, because he was lying for you.
And I quote, Yasuhiro.
Because he was a simp. He made tea for you. Obviously he was gonna lie for you.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually Taro!
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He gave everyone nicknames. He said for serious a lot. I don't remember that. That's what Yasuhiro does. He said people's last names. Right. He always, he said Mr. Naegi.
That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Are you telling me Celeste's last name is Yasuhiro?
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal, but he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
I can't believe her last name is the same as the first name
The
of a
name
student
he
here.
said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Calm
on!
down.
Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
Yeah, right now, kind of.
Well, do I?
Yes.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up, so then I have to do something to make her accept it. I know it. I know which one. If it pops up, I know which one. Yep, there it is.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
it would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
how many times do I have to tell you? My name is...
Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me...
That's false.
No, that's wrong.
Remember? I'm so glad that I recorded this right after the last episode because I still remember everything. Like,
That's
everything's still fresh.
The handbook.
What?
Yep. Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
And since I replayed the whole game before, I also remember when Makoto turned on his and it said Makoto Naegi or whatever. It didn't say that, but it popped up on the screen. This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Well,
Celeste,
that means you're pretty much giving up.
Please just tell us what really happened? Please. Just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because...
Stupid!
Until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again. From the beginning. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Time for the closing argument. Here we go. So, Hifumi and Celeste, here. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one. Yep, this one. And also this one. Yep. Let's see here. This one. Okay, here. Oh wait, maybe I'm looking for the note. No, okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, wait. I think I got these mixed up. I think this one goes here. And then I think this one goes here. And then this one will be what? Her taking the picture. Here would be... Oh, hold up. Would be this. What is it? Justice Hammer. What was that? Justice Hammer 4? That was 4, right? And this was Justice Hammer 2. This was Justice Hammer 3. Oops. Ah, that looks so cool. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So I think that's what that is at least. Okay, so then we found the bodies. He wrote it up. I don't know what this one is. I can't figure. Oh, this is him pushing that. Or wait, that wouldn't have happened yet. Or would it? Yeah, that would have happened. That's there. And then that would have been that.
The killer is you!
Alright.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi.
Why are they clowning
With an
on him?
accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Yep. Knew it.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit.
Yeah.
Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking them, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro.
Like, I
When
really
they were
called
done
this
with him,
during
they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker.
ultimate prediction, man. I don't know.
And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room.
Ugh.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered.
Not gonna lie, this is pretty smart if it actually did work out.
He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time.
Well, I made a mistake. So I took a screenshot while I was recording, and I had a feeling about it too. I wasn't gonna do it. I took a screenshot in the middle of a recording, and it stopped the recording. So, and I didn't know it, so I kept going, and I kept going until Celeste's execution, where obviously I had to stop recording right before the execution started. So I pushed it to stop recording, and it started recording. So I was like, oh crap, how far back did it go? And it was just when I pushed the screenshot. You know the screen, well, you know, because it ended off and then cut to here. The screen where it was all of them looking at the bodies on each side, that's where I pushed screenshot. And well, obviously I had to do the screenshot twice because I did it with the words there, which obviously that's not going to be a good thumbnail. So I did that, and then I was like, oh crap, I need to get rid of it. So I pushed it off of the words, and then did it again. Came back, you know, kept doing it, and this, oh my god, there's so much reading after this. So I am disappointed that I have to read all this again, but I'll do it. I lost.
When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So freaking like that's just a disgusting name,
So,
bro. Like
you finally
disgusting.
accepted it.
I'm the kind of
Take it.
person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Said this before, but that's interesting seeing as you lost a while ago and you just kept talking after that.
Interesting.
Yep. Then I got an A. Got 108 coins. And
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully...
what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Trying to skip through this a little bit, even though y'all haven't seen it, but I'm gonna try to skip the unimportant parts, I guess. We voted for Celeste. What a shocker! Like honestly, I was just like not expecting us to vote for Celeste after we said it was Celeste. It's just so crazy. It's a basic formality at this point. Once again, you're totally correct. The Blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinging scheme was Celeste Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's impunitude was beyond all of my calculations.
I knew it.
So, you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty, don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree. Then, did you use, you know... I knew you'd figure it out, Koryoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice.
Indeed.
I used her. For everyone who's still left alive, I won't go into mention it by name. But it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean... Is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words,
Then you're the one that stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used to drag Hifumi into the plan you come up with. That it again. Last time that we had this meeting about how to disappear, I pay Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you alone. Is it with it stolen? I know who did it.
What?
What?
are you okay
It's
with
Otoka.
this?
He stole it. What?
So then...
And I have proof. Would you like to see? As it turned out, I did find some use for a digital camera. I'd taken it, in Talker room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as it was corny, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how did he do it? He was supposed to tell us. His wrist got close to her. You were correct, which is why Talker forced me to steal it.
Say
What?
As for me...
Please forgive me. He has started to me. He did?
As for me...
He came to my room last night and unannounced me. It's hard for him to even say. He abused me.
What?
What? And he took the pictures as he said if I did not do it, he would show them to everyone. He saw I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime. It's absolute crime. I knew you were getting a little crazy, but...
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I expressed how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something unreversible of my life. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna freaking kill him.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please. I do not know if you go to right now, you'd be playing right into his hands. Huh?
Actually...
Taka is planning to use her to escape, and he was made you his target. What? Escape? You don't mean... Taka is going to try to kill you. What?
Indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. That bastard!
Honestly.
Can we allow him to kill these beard eggs? Absolutely not! How could I? She...
I swear!
I have to save her!
Actually...
Then would you like to join me? It also so happens that I've come up with a plan. Huh? It is devised a way to reclaim that he is stolen and escaped to the for school. And with that, it is complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect it had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a twisted one as that, can drive people mad, it seems. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
Indeed.
Yes, it was up here playing the butt too. All I asked him was to make something hide in your face with your own body size. I have no idea he would make something like that, but it was my fault in the first place. I'm talking so fast that I can't even freaking read it properly. I'm just trying to get this over with. So much talking, I don't even know why. I had no problem with talking like this, but it's my fault for picking me in the first place. So why did you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. Let's eat.
Let's see.
Let's eat. In that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed me in every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
but when you were planning your plan to fool me, how did you get in the part about playing dead? What she's acting is, what was the movie supposed to do with it? You assuming you actually let him live?
Are you okay with
It's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead once someone showed up, I told him to say he was seriously wounded and was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course, there wasn't all that was to it. I explained to whom the fan was. You were all questioning him about what had happened. I was going to murder someone else, and that's what you for me would have an alibi so nobody could doubt him. I told him that I believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just merged the lie to a level of the head. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the whole lie wholeheartedly, right up to the moment of his deed.
so in the end...
So, you planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point in my life if the people who pretended to be dead did not end up dead themselves. How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
It's not an issue since I simply did everything to my power.
Don't be mean!
Nice, look at Yakyo.
I wonder about
Nobody
that.
devices his plan from the thrill of the hunt and his life we're nothing like.
Why?
Then why are we making this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for the money? Are you talking about the $10 million amount of this easy like the money? It's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment I arrived in the game here, my thought has only been to escape. But all along you've been saying how we had to accept living here.
You little
Obviously that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And did you know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had the dream. And accepting a life here would mean nothing less than giving up on my dream
Honestly.
forever. And there was no way I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to a metaphorical
As for
killing.
me-
And it was all for that dream. And what was this dream of
Isn't
yours?
it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. A castle. And to gather handsome from all over the world to serve as my butler's bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that power, I created a perfectly aesthetic
This
world
is
of
fine.
decadence. Living the rest of my life there was the only dream, my only goal. That's why my life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Murakuma's 10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got the right to the
There
age,
is
but
nothing to be done.
unfortunately my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you were able to really kill your friends
Oh.
for it? Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel
Do
nothing.
you understand?
That's all it is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to live unrivaled. I applied in that. It's not just other people. I can even follow my own emotions. The conscious deceive the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could being reincarnated, if I had a choice,
Isn't
then
it wonderful?
I think I'd like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey.
Then you'd just be executed again. Celeste smiled then. And when she did, whew, we're here again, okay. It looked to me like she was a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that was her last lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her in the end.
Chills!
Yellow done? Okay then, let's get rolling. The black can disturb the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
Perhaps indeed. Oh my gosh, finally we're back. So much talking, honestly. Alright, well, I'll see you guys after the punishment. Alright, we're just gonna play until it says chapter 3 ends, so it's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? Someone could cut free of the regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
I care about help. I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. It's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? And what do you want from us? God, I'm sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So, anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey!
So, what's the deal with that?
What?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine. What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What?
hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body? Whoa.
Ooh, how exciting.
Oh man. Oh jeez. Oh man. Oh jeez. What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything at all. What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well?
Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later.
See you later. Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although, it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key Celeste gave you? Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
Wait, then that means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to admit what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we'd better go check.
indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said, I'm going on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. Check in with you later. Why exactly are you going alone?
So,
Do we even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I meant. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You. Please let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Kyoko.
well then.
Then it's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay? Huh? So Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. I tried to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone.
shall we go?
Well, shall we? Yeah.
So then,
We need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. And as the locker swung open, we saw...
You're really cool.
Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I just did what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time. Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait while just a little longer. So, now we can finally say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second since we have this opportunity? I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me. What are you trying to do on your own at his school? Is that what you wanted to come here with me?
however,
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me even more worried. Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time. You disappeared and we didn't see you. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
indeed.
it's only natural that you think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? And that's why I want you to tell me. I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then...
That's fine.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see... Yeah? What I heard from Kyoko then was... Well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko, I believe in her. She told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. And you know what? I was going to finish off the chapter, but this seems like a pretty good cliffhanger, so I'm going to end the episode right here. And yeah, that was a pretty interesting episode. I called it during the investigation, and yeah, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.